Hello students, this video is for class 10th biology and here I am going to discuss the topic male reproductive system taken from the chapter 3, that is how do organisms reproduce. So let's get started. First of all, we will talk about what is reproduction. So as you know, reproduction is the biological process in which the organism produce their offspring of the same kind, and it is one of the essential process that helps the organism to continue their species generation after generation. Reproduction can be of two types. It is sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, only one individual is enough to produce the offspring, but in contrast to asexual reproduction, the sexual reproduction needs two individuals. These two individuals produce gametes separately in their body, and both the gametes need to fuse together for the production of zygote, and the zygote develops into embryo, and embryo develops into the new individual. So if we talk about the humans, human reproduction is a kind of sexual reproduction, and in this process of reproduction, two gametes are required, male and female gamete. Male gamete is formed in the male body and the female gamete is formed in the female body. In human, the male and female are separate and they produce their own gamete in their reproductive system. As you know that the humans cannot produce the offspring from the birth or in the childhood, but after attaining a certain age their reproductive organs start to mature and become functional. That phase is called as puberty, and it starts from 10 to 12 years. After that age, the reproductive organs start to getting mature and they start to functionalize. During the puberty, because of the hormonal action, some changes occur. If we talk about the male, then the growth of hair on the face, armpits and pubic regions occur, and their voice become deeper, and the reproductive organs start to grow and develop, and they become mature. Now we will talk about the hormones involved in the puberty. At the age of 10 to 12, the gland which is present in our brain, that is called hypothalamus, it starts to release a releasing hormone, that is GnRH, which is gonadotropin releasing hormone. This gonadotropin releasing hormone acts on the pituitary gland, and by the stimulation of this GnRH, the pituitary gland starts to release two hormones which are LH and FSH. LH is the luteinizing hormone and FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. Both these hormones stimulate the reproductive organ of male and female respectively. You know that the primary reproductive organ in the male is testis, and in female the reproductive organ, the main primary reproductive organ is the ovary. So these two hormones LH and FSH, they stimulate the testis and ovary in the male and female respectively, and by the stimulation of these hormones, the testis starts to produce a hormone that is called testosterone, and the ovary starts to produce the hormones that are estrogen and progesterone. Testosterone is the male sex hormone, and it is responsible for the secondary sexual character in the male, and estrogen and progesterone are the female sex hormone. In these two, the estrogen is the primary sex hormone that is responsible for the secondary sexual character in the female body. So that's how the hormones trigger the puberty in the humans. Now we will talk about the male reproductive system. Male reproductive system includes many organs. Some of the organs are present inside the abdominal cavity of the body, and some organs are present outside the abdominal cavity. So the main organ, the primary sex organ which is found in the male reproductive system is a pair of testes, and there are accessory ducts which are found in the reproductive system of male, which are epididymis and vas deferens and ejaculatory duct. So these are the three accessory ducts which are present in the male reproductive system, and there are three accessory glands found in the male reproductive system, that is seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland is also known as bulbourethral gland, and penis is also the external organ present in the male reproductive system. This is the diagram showing the male reproductive system, and here you can observe that the urinary system and the reproductive system is combined together, and they are work together. So here you can see the testis. It is the primary reproductive organ, and this is the organ which is responsible for the production of male gamete, that is called sperm. And testis is found in the skinny bag like structure, this is called scrotum. And for the transportation of sperm, there is a muscular tube like structure that is called vas deferens. It is for the transportation of sperms out from the testes. And this is the seminal vesicle, which is a gland, and when the vas deferens and seminal vesicle unite together, they make a small duct that is called ejaculatory duct. This is the ejaculatory duct, and this is the prostate gland, which is found around the urethra, and this is the urinary bladder, and this is the urethra. And urethra is covered by a muscular tissue that is called, that makes the penis. And here you can see this is the ureter, which brings the urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. And here you can observe that the urethra is the common passage for the discharge of sperm and urine in the male body. Now we'll talk about the testis in detail. Testis located outside the abdominal cavity because the sperm production needs 2 to 3 degrees Celsius lower temperature than the body temperature, and they are found in the skinny bag like a structure which is called a scrotum. And testis has two major functions. First is to produce a sperm by meiotic division of germ cells that are present in the seminiferous tubules, and second function is to synthesize and secrete androgens that regulate the male reproductive functions. The site of production of androgen is the Leydig cells, which are found in the testis. So there are two functions of the testis. One is to produce male gamete, and the second is to produce hormones, which are responsible for the functions of male reproductive system. The male reproductive in the male reproductive system, the testis produces testosterone, which is a male sex hormone, and it brings about secondary sexual character, and it helps in the sperm production, penis development of phenotypic characteristics, and it strengthens the bone, increases muscle mass, and it increases the libido. So the testosterone is a very important hormone which is very important for the functions of reproductive system. In this diagram you can see the testis. Inside the testis you can see there are so many compartments, and each compartment you can see there are highly convoluted tubules, and they are the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules are the site where male gametes means sperms are formed, and when the sperms are formed they ascend upward and they move into the epididymis. And epididymis is also the bunch of highly convoluted tubules. Here the sperm get mature and get the motility, and this is the vas deferens. From the epididymis the sperm move upward in the vas deferens to move to discharge out through the urethra. In this diagram you can see that how the sperms form. So first of all, the cells which are present in the seminiferous tubules inside the testis, that cells are called spermatogonium. In the spermatogonium, the mother cells by which the sperms are formed. So first of all, the spermatogonium undergoes into the mitotic division, and two cells are formed which are 2n, and they are called primary spermatocyte. And then the primary spermatocyte undergoes the meiosis 1, and two cells are formed, and they have the half number of chromosomes, and they have n number of chromosomes, and they are called secondary spermatocyte. After that, the secondary spermatocyte undergoes in the meiosis 2nd, and four spermatids are formed with the number of n chromosomes, and after that spermatids become mature and develop the flagellum for the vibration and movement, and now they are called sperm. So that's how from the spermatogonium the sperms are formed in the testes. All the process of sperm formation not completed only in the testes, but the maturation and the mobility develops into the epididymis. If you see the structure of a sperm, then you will find that it is very highly specialized cell. It is not a normal cell, and it is elongated, and it has three parts in its structure. The one is called head, and second is called middle piece, and the last part is called tail. Tail is actually a flagellum. Sperm is the only human cell which has the flagellum and has the mobility. It can move by itself. Above the tail there is a middle piece. In middle piece is very special part of the sperm. It has so many mitochondria which is arranged in a very special manner, spirally. They are spirally arranged. The mitochondria present in the middle piece, they are spirally arranged, and these mitochondria give the energy for the movement of the sperm. And above the middle piece there is a head region. Inside the head the nucleus is found where the DNA and chromosomes are there, and the tip of the head has a structure, very special structure, that is called acrosome. Acrosome has the enzymes which are very important for the dissolution of upper layer of egg during the fertilization. So this is the structure of a sperm. So after talking about the testes, we'll talk about the accessory duct. The first accessory duct is epididymis. Epididymis is a long whitish mass of tightly coiled tube, and it is present just above the testis, and the sperm that are produced in the seminiferous tubules flow into the epididymis, and during passage via the epididymis the sperm undergo maturation and attain motility. So the maturation and the mobility is developed in the epididymis area of the testis. Epididymis ends in a new duct that is called vas deferens. The vas deferens is also known as sperm duct, and it is a thin tube approximately 30 centimeters long, and it is present in the pelvic cavity of the male body, and it carries the spermatozoa from the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. So basically it is for the transport of sperms from epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. Now we'll talk about the ejaculatory duct. Each vas deferens joins the duct from the adjacent seminal vesicle to form a short ejaculatory duct. The duct emerges from the seminal vesicle and the vas deferens. They join together and they make a single duct. That duct is called ejaculatory duct. Each ejaculatory duct passes through the prostate gland and empties into the urethra. Now we will talk about the accessory glands. Accessory glands provide fluid that lubricate the duct system and nourish the sperm cells. And there are three accessory glands. The one is seminal vesicle, second is prostate gland, and the third is bulbourethral gland. Bulbourethral gland is also called as Cowper glands. So first of all, we'll talk about the seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles are paired and it is located on the posterior surface of the urinary bladder between the bladder and the rectum, and these glands secrete a substance that is very important. It nourishes the sperm cells. The secretion of seminal vesicle is for the nourishment of the sperm cells, and approximately 30% of the semen is composed of the secretion produced by the seminal vesicle. Now we'll talk about the prostate gland. Prostate secretes an alkaline substance which constitute the largest part of the seminal fluid, and its function is to enhance the motility of the sperm. The bulbourethral gland secrete an alkaline mucus-like fluid. This fluid neutralizes the acidity of the urine residue in the urethra. So these are the functions of the secretions discharged from the accessory glands. Now we'll talk about the semen. Semen is also called as seminal fluid, and it is a slightly alkaline mixture of sperm cells and secretions from the accessory glands. So all the secretions discharged from the accessory glands and the sperm cell together called as seminal fluid or semen. Now we'll talk about the last organ of the male reproductive system, that is penis. And penis is the male copulatory organ. It is the organ which is responsible for the transfer of sperm from the male body to the vagina of the female body, and it is present anterior to the scrotum, and it is the external reproductive organ found in the male body. Now this is the time for your home assignment. There are some questions given to you, and you have to find out the answers of these questions, and you have to learn and write in your practice copy. The first question is, draw a well-labeled diagram of male reproductive system and mention functions of each organ present in it. Second is, what are Leydig cells and what is their function? And third question is asking you that write the function of follicle stimulating hormone. Fourth is, why are testes placed outside the abdominal cavity? And the fifth question is, draw the structure of a sperm and label it. So these questions you have to do in your practice copy. That's all for this video. Thank you.